What's going on, guys? Yanni here. I'm gonna take you guys to a property that we own on Long Island just to explain a little bit about how commercial real estate works and give you an example of what we do. The specific property we're about to get to is a Chase Bank on Long Island. This is a bank that we bought a few years back. The bank was very undervalued because the rent was very low for where it is on Long Island. A bank is valued on obviously location, but a good way to also see a bank's value is its overall deposits. A good bank typically has anywhere from 60 to 80 million dollars in overall deposits. This bank has 300 million dollars in deposits. This is the bank here. This bank had a rent of $90,000 per year, and we purchased it for a 3 cap, which was about $3 million. After owning the bank for 6 years, we increased the rent to $350,000. And when we did that, we put the bank back on the market for $7 million, and we got our asking price of $7 million, and we sold that for about a 5 cap. There's a lot of different goals for a commercial real estate investor, to make money, and they're all good. What we like to do is buy a property that's undervalued, has low rent, and increase the rent. And once we increase the rent, the property value goes up significantly, and then we get to sell that property for a lot more than what we paid. In doing so, we make a lot of money, and then we're able to 1031 that money and buy more property and pay 0 taxes on it. The investor that bought this property, he looked at it as the bank just renewed for 15 years at $350,000 with increases every 5 years. So he's hedging inflation. He has a solid tenant, which is Chase Bank, who's guaranteed to pay. The way that he looks at it, he's gonna get a good return on his investment. He's gonna hedge inflation, and his property value is gonna go up over time. The way we look at it as, we bought the property, raised the value, sold it, and we're gonna take that money and buy more property and do the same exact thing. We're gonna make money faster and grow it faster. What he's doing is also really good. He's just hedging inflation and collecting rent. As you guys can see, this Chase Bank is on a corner. In commercial real estate, that is very valuable because corners are typically where intersections happen and people stop. There's a light, people are able to stop, pull in easier than when it's what's called mid-block, when it's in the middle of the block. This bank has a lot of entrances. You can pull in there, you can pull out here, and then there's a back that you can pull in and out of. When building a property like this, you really want to get as many entrances and exits as possible because it makes the property flow better, and it makes people feel more comfortable to come here and use this bank. And in return, it'll be a busier branch. This bank has over $300 million in deposits. At least that's how much it was when we sold it. It's definitely more now. That was a few years back. This is a very wealthy area on Long Island. When buying a property, you want to see the demographics, how those demographics will do in the area that the property is in. This specific Chase is in a wealthy area on Long Island, so it's bound to do really good numbers because of where it is. If it was in a low income area, the deposits wouldn't be as good and it wouldn't be as successful as it is. And because it's so successful, they will pay more rent. When buying a property like this, you typically want to come with at least 20% down. In our instance, we came with 50% down. So we bought it for $3 million. So that means we came into the property with $1.5 million. We got a loan from the bank for another $1.5 million. Like I said previously, we were only making a 3% return because we knew when the lease was up in 6 years, we were gonna be able to raise the rent, then we'd make a lot of money. So it was worth it to buy a really, really low cap rate. The money that we loaned, we basically were making no profit on what we loaned, only 3% on the money that we put down, which is very low. You wanna be making at least 6 to 7% on your money in commercial real estate per year. And then after that, so after the 6 years was up, Chase came to us and said that they want to renew. We told them, after negotiating, we started at a higher number than $350,000. Maybe we asked for $450,000. They were trying to be lower than $350,000. We met in the middle at $350,000, where we were both happy. After we signed that lease, we put it right up on the market, sold it for $7 million very quickly, made $4 million in profit, took all that $7 million and 1031'd it, so paid 0 capital gain, 0 tax, 1031'd it to buy. We bought, I think, 4 7-Elevens and 1 CVS. So just from this one property, this initial investment, that we put down 1.5 million. We ended up making it worth 7 million. We sold it for 7 million. We bought 4 different properties. That's like the name in the game of real estate. It's good to borrow money, leverage yourself good, buy a property, make it worth more, sell that property and buy more, buy multiple. Then when you buy multiple, you have your eggs divided, you have less risk. There's been instances in our business where something like this, when we tried to do this and they just said no and they closed down. We bought the property, very expensive, and then they closed and then we ended up having to sell it for a loss. Most of the time it doesn't happen, but it does happen. When we buy real estate nowadays, we like to buy what's called triple net, where the landlord has zero responsibilities for the property. The landscaping isn't good, we don't have to worry about it. If it snows, we don't have to worry about plowing. If there's a roof problem, a roof leak, anything, we don't have any responsibility. It's all on them. The only time we hear from them is when we have to collect a check every month. That's it. And that's what we want. When you buy triple net properties, typically you're gonna get a lower return on your investment because they're just more valuable because they're less headaches. Triple net properties are usually signed by like national tenants, and national tenants are better because they have like a corporate guarantee. You're pretty much guaranteed your money, and banks will lend on that better, and they'll lend on it more aggressively because you're pretty much guaranteed your check every month, versus buying like a mom and pop or a strip center where they don't know if that tenant's gonna pay every month, and you're more likely foreclose on your purchase than, you know, a national tenant. You know, you're pretty much guaranteed your money. If you're interested in learning more about this, stay tuned on the channel. I'm gonna be posting more properties that we own and properties that we sold, and explaining pretty much how we bought them, how we sold them, why we still own them, why we sold them, and just to give you a better understanding about how commercial real estate works. I'm sure you've been driving around and you see all these properties that you see on the road, and you're like, who owns these? People like me and you own these, and you can get into it if you just save money, find the right opportunity. So just stay tuned and I'll teach you guys how to do it.